I have been avoiding PDF patterns for the most part. Maybe I've sewn 2 or 3 over the last 4 years, but I am really interested in getting into sewing them more now, and I wonder if you've been avoiding them too. If so, and you need a little guidance into sewing with PDF patterns and want to see how it all works, then I have something for you. So keep watching. Hello, you guys. Welcome back to my YouTube channel for those of you who are returning. If you are new here, visiting for the first time, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm Anita with Anita by Design. And here on my YouTube channel, you will find step-by-step, very detailed sew-alongs, tutorials, pattern reviews, and other sewing-related content to help you with your sewing projects. Today, I have a great tutorial for you. I'm going to be sharing with you guys 2 ways you can print your PDF patterns, 3 ways you can cut your PDF patterns, and I'm going to share with you how to assemble the patterns. Now, I'm going to be honest, I have not been a fan of working with PDF patterns in the past because I don't like printing and assembling them on my own. And I have another option that I'm going to share with you today. So if you are like me and you're interested in hearing more about working with PDF patterns, then keep watching because we're going to get started right now. Okay, here we are on the True Bias website. We're going to go up to the Patterns tab, and when you hover over that tab, you'll see some of the patterns that they have available in the store. I'm going to click on Patterns, and that'll take us over to their store where you can see all of the other patterns that are available. And I'm going to purchase the Rio Ringer t-shirt and dress. It's available in sizes 0 to 18 or sizes 14 to 30. So I'm going to click on the 0 to 18, and you see a picture of the model wearing the t-shirt, and then there's a picture of the model wearing the dress. First, I want us to take a look at this graphic here. It gives us the line drawings for the t-shirt and the dress, and then you have your charts that give you all of the information you need for measurements and the fabric requirements. One thing to keep in mind is that the finished measurements chart is the one that I use to decide which size I'm going to cut, and that information will help you when it comes time to print your pattern, because there is an option that they offer for you to print one size if you want to print just a single size or a couple of sizes, rather than printing all of the sizes that are available with the pattern. Okay, so let's click out of that. And here you have all of the information about the pattern. So I'm going to go down. So we have the PDF pattern. I'm going to add it to my cart. And here in the cart, I see the pattern. I've only purchased one, and then the price. So I'm going to go to checkout. Okay, then it goes over to the contact information page. You can enter all of your information and click next. And here is where you will enter your shipping information. Okay, after you enter your shipping information, it'll take you over to the payment page, and then you can choose your method of payment. Then once you've entered your payment information, you will go ahead and make your payment, and then you will receive an email from True Bias. So I'm going to go over and grab the email. Once you get over to your emails, look for the email that says download your True Bias pattern, and inside the email you will find a link to the download. It says that it's a clickable link, but if yours is not clickable, as mine isn't, just highlight it and post it, copy and paste into your browser. And once you do that, then your pattern will download. So now I'm going to go over to the downloads folder and grab the pattern. After you open your download file, you will find 4 different documents inside of the file. There are 3 different versions to copy from, and then the instruction booklet. So you have the AO copy shop file, the print at home file, and the US copy shop file. And then you have the pattern instructions, the booklet to help you to prepare and sew your garment. Now let's take a look at the US copy shop print or file. And here's what it looks like. All the pattern pieces are printed. And again, you'll use this one to send off to your copy shop within the United States. Let's take a look at the print at home file. So you will notice that it looks a bit different than the copy shop versions. You will notice that there are numbers. You see the number 2 and 3, 4 and 5. Those are pages. When you're printing your pattern at home, you're printing individual pages, and then you will take those pages and tape them together, matching the symbols, which would be this little circle here, to create the one large sheet with your pattern pieces, and then you will go in and cut the pieces apart. Okay, so there we have the different versions of the pattern for printing. So now let's go ahead and take a look at actually printing the pattern from home. Okay, in order to print your pattern from home, you're going to need Adobe Acrobat Reader. If you don't have that reader installed into your computer already, I've included a link in the description box below so that you can download Adobe onto your computer. After you have downloaded Adobe, go ahead and open the reader, and then over to the far right where it says select PDF file, you will click on that and then go and choose the file for printing your pattern at home. Once you do that, this is what you will see. The first thing we're going to take a look at, okay, this is the size key, and you have the little test square, and then here are your pattern pieces. And you will notice here that all of the sizes 0 through 18 are printed onto the paper. If you would like to print one size only, or maybe 2 different sizes, then you have the option by going over to this little pages icon. Click on the icon, and then you will notice all of the sizes 0 through 18. And to the left are little boxes with an eyeball icon inside. In order to remove the sizes that you don't want printed, you will just click on the box to remove the eyeball. So let's say I'm choosing sizes 12 and 14. I want to print those 2 sizes only. So I'm going to click on all the other sizes, and as I'm clicking, you will see those sizes being removed from the pattern. I'm going to cancel this. This box shows up to let you know that the pattern is being prepared for printing. So I'm going to cancel that for now and continue removing the sizes that I don't want, and you see them going away. So I'm leaving 12 and 14. And now the only 2 sizes that will be printed are 12 and 14. Okay, next we're going to go up to the printer to make sure that our settings are proper for printing the pattern. Now, the first thing you want to check off is the size. That's the size of the scale that the pattern will print in, and we're going to choose actual size. Some people choose custom, and that's fine. Either one will work. So choose actual or custom, making sure that you're not choosing shrink or any of these other options. Okay, and then next we want to go down to page setup. Click yes. And here we're going to go into paper size. If you are printing your pattern in the United States, then of course you're going to choose US letter. If you're printing outside of the US, choose A4. Okay, and then click OK. And the first thing you need to do is print a test page. Let me click out of here. At the top of the page, there is this little test square. This square helps to determine if your pattern is being printed to the proper scale. So you will print page 1 only and then measure this square with your ruler to make sure that it's a 2-inch square. So go over to your printer, and then for pages to print, just click pages and then enter page 1 only. That way you will just print that first page and then you will be able to measure the square. Okay, so I'm going to print the page, measure the square, and then I'm going to print the rest of the pages if the measurement is proper or if the square is 2 inches, and then I will come back and show you guys how to assemble the pages to prepare for cutting. Okay, I have printed off the pages for the pattern, but before you print all of the pages, make sure you measure the test square. This square should measure 2 inches. So use your ruler or your seam gauge and measure to make sure that your pattern will print to scale. If that's all good, then you can go ahead and print all of your pages. So I have printed pages 1 through 16 for the t-shirt. Next, you're going to need to gather all of the tools you'll need to assemble the pattern, starting with your cutting tools. And I'm going to show you 3 different ways to cut the pattern. First, you can use your paper scissors, and make sure they are your paper scissors, not your fabric scissors. Or you can use a rotary cutter. If you're going to use a rotary cutter, you're going to need a ruler so that you can line up the ruler with the lines of the pattern to make sure you get a straight cut. Or you can use a paper cutter. I like using the paper cutter because it makes the job go by a lot faster. After you have your cutting tool, you're going to need some tape, because after we cut the sides of the pattern pages, you're going to need to assemble the pattern using tape. Okay, the first thing we need to determine is which sides of the pattern we're going to cut off. I'm not going to be cutting off all 4 edges of the pattern because that would be too time consuming. So what I like to do is choose one of the sides, left or right, and the top or the bottom. So I'm going to be cutting off the right side of the pattern and the bottom of the pattern, or the lines. So using my scissors, I'm going to demonstrate that first. And I don't have to teach you how to cut. You know how to cut. So you're just going to make sure that you are cutting right along that line, because you need a straight line when you're lining up the pattern or the pages to create the pattern. Okay, so that's the right side, and then I'm going to cut off the bottom. And I'm going to do this with, if you're using your scissors, you need to do this with all of your pages, making sure that you're consistent with cutting off the same sides. Okay? If you're going to be using your rotary cutter, you're going to take your ruler and place it right along that edge, making sure that it's even top to bottom. And then you're just going to cut off that edge. And then the same thing on the bottom. If you're using the paper cutter, you want to make sure that you're lining up the edge with the edge of your paper cutter where the blade will cut. So I like to do a little test to make sure I'm right on the edge, and I am. And I'm going to cut off the bottom. Now the great thing about using this paper cutter is I can cut like 4 or 5 pages at a time. My blade is very sharp, so it really helps to make this go by really fast. You can cut a couple of pages, 2 or 3, maybe 3 or 4 with your rotary cutter too if your blade is really sharp. And with your scissors, I would caution to do maybe 2 or 3 pages at the most at one time, because when you get into moving your fingers and making that cutting motion, your pages can shift. So just be careful with that. To assemble the pattern, we're going to use the markers printed on the edges of the pattern. So you see the half circles on the right and the bottom of this page. That's what we're going to use to line up the pages evenly. So I'm going to bring over page 2, and my focus is to line up the raw edge of page 1 with this line on page 2, while at the same time creating a full circle with the 2 half circles. So I'm going to slide page 2 under page 1 and line it up. I'm focusing on the lines being even and creating a full circle that is symmetrical. Okay? So my line is even, my circle looks okay. Let me check the top. And that looks even, and we're good. So I'm going to go ahead and tape that in place. I like to start right at the symbol, and then I'll go and tape the top and the bottom. Okay, next I'm going to bring in page 3 and do the same thing. I'm going to slide it under, and you see that the pattern is starting to form. So I'm lining up the circle and the lines. Okay, everything looks good, so I'm going to tape it in place. And once you have worked your way all the way to the end of the first row, then you're going to start assembling the second row. Okay, to start the second row, I'm going to slide this up. And then the first number for the second row is number 7, page number 7. I'm going to line up the top of page number 7 with the bottom of page 1. So I'm going to slide that under, lining up the lines and the circle, and tape in place. Okay, then I'm going to bring in page number 8. And I'm lining up the half circle here, and then this little box here. Okay, so I'm going to slide 8 under 7 and 2 to create the circle. I said the box, the circle here and the circle there, making sure that the lines are even as well. Okay. I think we need to move over just a tad bit. You really need to be precise on this because you don't want your pattern to come out all wishy-washy or wrong. Okay, and then I'm going to tape right here. You will continue this process until your entire pattern has been assembled. Here is what the pattern looks like after it has been assembled. All of our pages are in order and everything is ready to go. Now you can go ahead and cut out your pattern to prepare it for your fabric. And next, I'm going to show you how to use your copy shop files to send them off for someone else to print your pattern for you. In order to send our pattern off to a copy shop for printing, we're going to need to open up the copy shop file and grab two pieces of information. So I have opened the US copy shop file, and the first information I'm going to need is the number of pages, and you will find that here in the top bar. So this pattern, this copy shop version has one page. Next, you're going to need to know the dimensions of the page, and you will find that in the bottom left corner, and if you hover over, you will see the dimensions pop up on the bottom, and the dimensions of the page are 36 by 60. So these two pieces of information we're going to take over to pdfplotting.com and enter the information and order the pattern. The PDF plotting website, and we're going to go up to pattern printing, and you can choose to have your pattern printed in color or black and white. I'm going to choose black and white printing. And then it'll take you to the page where you can enter all of your information. So if you scroll down, you will see the dimensions, all of the different dimensions, the page sizes. Our page size was 36 by 60. The numbers that you see, like for instance, 24 by 36. So this is 24 up to 36 inches. So I'm going to look for 36 by 60 or something close. Okay, so this looks like the closest I can get, 36 by 72. So it's 36 inches up to 72 inches. So this is the one I'm going to choose. And then the number of pages is 1. So I'm going to click in and choose 1. And I just need one copy, so I'm good there. And then here is where you will go to choose your file. So I'm going to click choose file. After choosing your file, it will show right here. And then if you have any special notes that you'd like to leave for the copy shop, you can enter that here. Then we're going to go down and add to cart. Okay, and there I have my pattern information, or I have my pattern ordered. And then you will go ahead and finish ordering, proceed to checkout. At the checkout page, you will enter all of your information and order your pattern. Now, the cost for this pattern is $3.29, but there's also a minimum order surcharge of $6.70. So what I would do is I would order several patterns at the same time to make it more cost effective for me. And that is it. It's that simple to order your pattern to be printed by a copy shop. If you are ordering outside of the United States, then you're going to use the AO copy shop file. And in the top bar, you see that there are 2 pages, 1 of 2. And then the dimensions in the bottom left corner are 32 by 46. Now we're going to go over to PDF plotting. Okay, we're back on the PDF plotting website. So we're going to look for the file that's closest to 32 by 46. And as we scroll down, we see that there is an AO and 36 by 48. So there's no mistaking. This is the proper one to choose for the AO copy shop file. So we're going to enter the number of pages, and that file was 2 pages. 1 copy, and then we'll go in and choose the file the same way we did with the US copy shop version. Okay, once you have ordered your pattern, when you receive it, it comes in a triangle cardboard box, just like this one. And on the inside, your pattern your pattern is printed on a roll of paper. I think sometimes maybe 2 rolls or however many rolls of paper are needed for the particular pattern you ordered. This is not the t-shirt. Of course, I didn't order that. This is another pattern that someone gifted to me, a new designer. So this is what it looks like when you get it. It's all ready to be used. You're ready to cut your fabric. And for those of you who are like me and you don't like printing, taping, and preparing your PDF patterns, then I do suggest go ahead and giving PDF plotting a try, or some other service that prints PDF patterns. I am in no way affiliated with PDF plotting. I'm just sharing the resource. But yeah, I'm liking this. I'm really liking this, and I'm ready to get into sewing more PDF patterns now that I have found someone who can print the patterns for me. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, then please hit the like button in the description box below. And if you'd like to see more like this, I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not already. You can subscribe by hitting the subscribe button in the description box below, and make sure that after you subscribe, you hit the little bell to the right of the subscription box, because that will allow you to receive notifications when I post new content here to my YouTube channel. Until next time, as always, remember, when you live in your design, it is from there that God shines. That means when you live according to the way that you have been created, it is from that place that God will use you to bless other people. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.